Yikes. Telenovelas are seriously unhinged. The drama, the romance, the drama, the stupid over-the-top plots, and did I mention the drama? I mean, the Wiki Dictionary definition of drama is a work for television, radio, or the cinema, that is not usually a comedy. But the drama I actually mean is melodrama, and the Wiki Dictionary definition for that is, any situation or action which is blown out of proportion. And boy, is everything blown out of proportion in this telenovela called Besos Robados, or Stolen Kisses for those of you who can't speak Spanish. The plot is overblown, the heroine and the hero are overblown in their stupidity and, ultimately speaking, the audacity of the person who wrote this script is way overblown because the plot is absolute caca, but it is crazy enough to keep you coming back for more. Okay, let me tell you what the plot is about real quick, so that you can actually understand what the hell I'm talking about. The telenovela unfolds at the Ars Viva Institute, an exclusive high school for the arts. And we are introduced to the hero of the telenovela, Alejandro Pomar. He is described as a hard-working and responsible man, and he has just been hired at the Ars Viva Institute as a teacher. He takes his job very seriously. On his first day as a teacher, Alejandro finds himself in a classroom full of rowdy and uncontrollable female students, who only think about singing and dancing, neglecting their studies. Which is not all that surprising, considering that it is an art school. The group is led by Paloma Velicocchia, the heroine of the telenovela, who quickly becomes his biggest headache because of her antics. And you know what, I'm not gonna leave you in suspense here, she is also the girl who will be his love interest. Yep, it's one of those stories. Are you gagging yet? Because I sure am. Anywho, Paloma is an orphan who grew up surrounded by luxury, spoiled by her nanny and her uber-wealthy Aunt Fernanda, with whom she has lived since she was 12. As a student, Paloma is a headache, rebellious and defiant. But despite all this, teacher Alejandro over here goes and stupidly catches feelings for her. It is highly inappropriate, and he knows it, and the people who wrote this script know it too. So, in order to not make him look like a total perv, even though he absolutely is, the writers wrote the script so that it is Paloma who is chasing after him. Paloma develops a crush on him, and because she is young and dumb, and I'm also assuming that crap crazy, she sets out to seduce Alejandro. And little by little, Paloma manages to steal his heart. Yes, you heard it correctly. This fully grown man falls for the clumsy seductions of this young lady after putting up what was clearly token resistance. But to his credit, he doesn't act on it. Now things could have ended here, but due to Paloma being an unruly wild child, at a point it becomes necessary for him to summon her legal guardian to talk about how to discipline her. So, enter Fernanda, Paloma's beautiful aunt, who is wealthy, smart, amazing and sweet and everything nice. I mean, this lady deserves all the compliments. When Fernanda meets Alejandro, she likes him immediately, and he is not exactly unappreciative of her many fine qualities either. He likes her, but he doesn't like her. But still, because he senses he is in very real danger of falling even more in love with Paloma and crossing the line with her, this genius decides to start dating her aunt in the hope that if he does, his feelings for her will disappear. Obviously, that doesn't work. If anything, his feelings for this girl grow even stronger, because now he isn't just seeing her during school hours, he is now a regular guest at her house, and they are constantly in each other's faces and spaces. They say distance makes the heart grow fonder, but in this case, distance wouldn't have done that, it would have been just the thing needed for these two mismatched individuals to get their heads screwed on straight. But that doesn't happen, because common sense is a thing that is very scarce in this telenovela, and many other telenovelas for that matter. So anyway, when Alejandro starts dating her aunt, Paloma is hella mad and sad, and she is jelly too, because instead of relaxing in her house, she now has to witness her crush and aunt being all over each other. Touching, kissing and all that jazz. There are a lot of uncomfortable moments in this telenovela because of this, and you can just tell from Alejandro's face that he knows he should not be with Fernanda. He knows he should stay far away from both these females. Because 1, he likes her niece, and 2, he is defeating his purpose of trying to keep things kosher between him and Paloma by being in her house, all the damn time. What he is doing is the epitome of counterproductive action. At one time he even finds himself in her room and they bond over her dumb music. And I get the feeling the people behind the telenovela wanted it to be a sweet or cute moment between these yearning fools, but whenever they are together it is just super uncomfortable to watch, and it gave me the ick. When watching the telenovela, the person I felt sorry for the most was Fernanda, because this poor lovely lady had no idea about what was going on between her niece and her man, and she honestly just deserved so much better. At a point, Paloma tries to put her feelings for Alejandro behind her and gets an age-appropriate boyfriend named Gonzalo. And I've just gotta give it to that little bastard Gonzalo. He was a smooth operator and I absolutely enjoyed his relationship with Paloma. But good things don't last in this telenovela, because Alejandro starts acting super jelly. Quite unbefitting for a teacher and an adult and prospective uncle of the girl he is hot for. There is this one scene when Gonzalo calls Paloma on her phone and Alejandro is the one who answers the phone because he had confiscated it from Paloma during class, and he snaps at the poor boy who only wanted to talk to his girlfriend. Somewhere along the line Alejandro and Paloma get around to discussing their feelings for each other openly, and they decide to not act on it because they know it's impossible for them to be together. So, not gonna lie, this telenovela really annoyed me and I skipped a whole bunch of episodes and just went to check in on the final episodes. You won't believe this, but some way, somehow, Alejandro and Paloma end up together, they get engaged and then eventually married, and I was left with a whole bunch of questions. Like what happened with Paloma's Aunt Fernanda? What happened with her relationship with Alejandro? Was she pissed when she found out that her boyfriend and her niece had feelings for each other? By the end of it all, was she just okay with them being together? I had so many freaking questions, but I knew I was never gonna pursue the answers, because like I said, I found this telenovela incredibly annoying. But I can definitely see how it would appeal to certain people who live for all the drama and scandalousness. For example, I can see how it would appeal to people who love that whole Ezra/Arya fiasco pairing from Pretty Little Liars. But I must confess, that just like this telenovela, I never even finished watching season 1 of Pretty Little Liars, and for the same reason too. The rawness of the relationships and the drama that surround such stories are way too much for me to sit through. It's kinda like how I sometimes prepare a large plate of food, convincing myself I'm definitely going to finish eating it all, only to falter halfway through because it was just too much. That's how this teacher/student romance trope is for me. But I will admit that I, like many people, some who won't even admit it, am fascinated by such stories. Because let's be honest, they are very fascinating, like a car wreck or dumpster fire, but still, quite fascinating. That is why when the telenovela, Dangerous Affairs, aired on Telemundo, I was all over it even though I knew I was gonna end up skipping several episodes. This time, the gender roles were reversed. In Dangerous Affairs, it is an adult female teacher who gets into an inappropriate relationship with her male student. The plot in this one takes off quickly with the two of them doing the horizontal tango after Mauricio, the 17-year-old protagonist, saves Miranda, the teacher, from being assaulted by thugs. This kid lies to her about his age when they hook up, but his lie gets blown wide open when the new school term starts. He meets Miranda again, in a classroom, because she is his new teacher. In this telenovela, I didn't hate Miranda the way I hated Alejandro in Stolen Kisses, because she genuinely thought she was hooking up with a grown man before she found out the truth. But that is all the credit I am gonna give her because she eventually gives in to temptation and starts an affair with Mauricio with full knowledge of how old he is. Dangerous Affairs won me over because Miranda faced real consequences for her actions, Mauricio's rich parents really went after her, and she eventually did some jail time. But again, telenovelas are really weird, because despite all this, the writers managed to patch together a happily ever after for Miranda and Mauricio. The two get married and even have a daughter together, and that is that I guess, because love conquers all or whatever caca the writers were trying to sell me. I mean, you gotta respect telenovela writers' commitment to a happily ever after even though there really shouldn't be one. But like the saying goes, where there is a will, there is a way. Telenovelas, especially the ones that employ the student/teacher romance trope we just discussed, are like really fun sewage, and so they are gonna continue get made, and I, like a fool, we'll check them out every now and then. The stories are so bad, but you just can't help but check them out, and can't help but wonder how it's all gonna end. Anywho, that's all I have to say about that. What's your favorite telenovela? Let me know in the comments.